Hi, this is Porter Thorndike, and I'm going to take you through the creation of the scatter, profit versus cost of goods sold for products animated. So there's a lot going on here. Let me explain it. We're using a bubble chart. Some people would also call this a scatter with size. It's a favorite visualization of mine because it communicates so much on one visualization. For me, it's the best anytime you have a dimension with a lot of values, but it really doesn't require that. And I find it's also most useful when it's showing you dimensions with a lot of values, and each one of them would be a bubble, and it has a higher level dimension that allows you to use a color by. So in this example, each bubble is a model. Okay, if we mouse over, we can see what model that is. And all of these models fit into product categories, which is our color by field over here. And they're being plotted by vertical axis of gross profit, horizontal axis of cost of goods sold, and then we are sizing each bubble based on the quantity of units it's sold. So communicating so much on one visualization. What is it good at showing you in that context? Well, it's great at showing you vertical outliers, so the products that are the most profitable. It's great at showing you horizontal outliers, the ones that have costed the most. Certainly the combination thereof. It's great at showing you outliers based on size, the ones that have moved the most products. It's great at showing you patterns by that color by field. So it appears to me that the computers in the camcorders, the greens, are the more profitable product line. And then it would also appear to me that the yellow media players seem to have a higher cost than the other models themselves. We've also activated trend lines on this, so we can see what average trend and pattern each product line is exhibiting. You notice most of them are going up. Lastly, we've activated time series animation. We want to see how this changes over time. And if we activate that, you will notice a couple interesting things. You notice some of these lines start pointing down, so really the data is changing, and we'd be interested in looking into that further. How would we create this amazing example? We're going to start in chart mode, and we're going to go to the Format tab, click on Other, and we're going to go to the XY plots area. We're going to select Bubble. Okay, now remember, it's looking for, bare minimum, it's looking for a detail field, which is what the bubbles are going to be. And like I said, I like dimensions with large numbers of values for this, but there is no requirement for that. So how about looking at all of the products as a different bubble? I'll drag that into the detail bucket. Now, it's going to look bare minimum for two metrics, vertical axis and horizontal axis. Remember, we used gross profit as our vertical axis. So we will see where all the bubbles fall on distribution vertically, but it obviously looks a lot better once you add the context of a horizontal axis, which in this case is cost of goods sold. Okay, so again, we start seeing vertical outliers, horizontal outliers. If we want to add the context of what product category these models fall into, well, we use the color bucket for that, and they fall into product categories. And so again, we start seeing some patterns based on the color. If I want to evaluate a third metric, I can use the size bucket for that. That's really why this is one of my favorite visualizations, is it is communicating up to 2 dimensions and 3 measures on one visualization. There's so much insight you can gain from this visualization. Patterns, trends, outliers, performers, interesting combinations that you can see. Let's drag the quantity sold into the size bucket. Okay. Now I want to activate those trend lines, and to do that I go to the Series tab. You'll notice that there are a lot of different trend lines that we could activate here. Linear, quadratic, hyperbolic. Let's start with the linear, and we'll see that we get a line based on each product category's pattern within the scatter plot. And the last thing that we did is we activated a time series animation. So to do that, we just drag the time series field that we want into that animate bucket. And that has been how to create the time series animation of models like gross profit, cost of goods sold, and quantity sold animated.